All right, let's break it all down now with our legal experts. Joining us, former federal prosecutor Katie Cherkasky and also constitutional law attorney Ameer Benno. Welcome to you both this Friday afternoon.
Thank you.
Hi.
All right, so great to have you. So how would this work? So we know that the subpoenas have been issued. You have Wray, you have Garland. Give us sort of an idea of how this would follow now. Ameer, first to you.
Well, they're going to move the DOJ. Wray and Garland would probably move to quash the subpoenas, possibly, or they may try to negotiate with Congress and say, let's work this out. What information do you need? Can we provide it in documentary form? Can we do it in a written response to questions as opposed to having to show up in person? There's any number of things. They could say, we'll show up, but we'll do it behind closed doors. We could show up, we could do it, but not under oath. So there'll be some horse trading right now about how they'll get this information out. And hopefully Congress will stick to its guns and really require them to come in and answer these questions. They're important questions that need to be answered, especially in light of Elvis Chan's, information that he lied to Congress in his testimony.
Yeah, the former FBI agent. Katie, where do you see this going? It sounds like Jim Jordan and his team say there is evidence. And we also had the U.S. District Court in Western Louisiana find that government defendants jointly participated with these social media companies. And, they can deny it all they want, but it does seem like, as to what Ameer was saying, there's people that will have evidence to the contrary.
I absolutely agree with Ameer. I think that the fact that they already have external evidence that there was some of this discussion between executive branch employees and social media platforms, it is vital that Congress pressures as hard as possible to get this information, because it is really critical to the fairness of all future elections, and particularly with the upcoming presidential election. So certainly, I think that it sounds like there might be some room for negotiation. They haven't totally denied the request at this point, but remains to be seen whether they actually come through.
Pressure's on. Well, let's talk about coming through when it comes to Special Counsel David Weiss. We know yesterday a Delaware judge dismissed those two misdemeanor charges with Hunter Biden's case. And some say this is just opening possibly charges, maybe felony ones in California. Do you have any thoughts that Weiss will actually go forward and charge Hunter Biden with a more serious crime, Ameer?
I don't think he will, and I think he's really working hand in glove, obviously, with Biden's defense attorneys. The DOJ is, and this kind of, I think it's just lies that the DOJ is feeding the American public, that Weiss had the power to do this in the past, and Weiss is lying, saying that he was limited. The truth is Merrick Garland doesn't want Weiss to go forward with this. He had the power. He could have done it. He sat on it for years and years. Now we're towards the end of the statute of limitations. Tax crimes, you've got a 6-year statute, 5 years for everything else. We're running out of this because the time issue, the time that all of these events took place is going back years and years ago. And David Weiss could have indicted for the gun charge, chose not to. They were really trying to pull the wool over the American people's eyes. And so I don't expect much out of David Weiss.
Yeah, statute of limitations, as you mentioned, a key point there. Hey, something broke yesterday. Katie, what's your reaction to this pretty serious demand from James Comer, saying the National Archives should hand over all the unredacted emails from then Vice President using a pseudonym? We have them up there on the screen. Robert Peters, Robin Ware, J.R.B. Ware. Comer was on Newsmax last night. Here's what he said about the request about getting VP Biden's emails from NARA.
This is obviously tying Joe Biden in on this scandal. And we're going to see the real quid pro quo in Ukraine wasn't Donald Trump calling Zelensky asking about corruption. It was Joe Biden actually going to Ukraine on Air Force Two, dangling foreign aid in front of the then president of Ukraine, demanding that he fire a prosecutor that was investigating his son's energy company that was clearly engaged in corruption in Ukraine.
In one of the emails, it's called Friday Schedule. It's only sent to Hunter and copying in a pseudonym from Vice President Biden. Why would he be using pseudonyms, Katie?
Well, if established that was in fact what was going on here, then I don't know that there's any innocent explanation for that. And it certainly defies all of President Biden's prior statements regarding his knowledge or lack of knowledge of any of his son's business dealings. So this is getting more and more circumstantial evidence that there may have actually been an actual bribery scheme that Joe Biden was directly involved with, again, if established.
Ameer, we got 20 seconds. Final thoughts.
Yeah, but more reason why David Weiss is totally improper to be a special counsel on this case, because he's still with the DOJ. You need somebody who's outside the DOJ. There is a conflict of interest. When you're dealing with an investigation into the president's son that could implicate crimes that involve the president, you don't get a clear conflict of interest in that. They need somebody who's not going to be a DOJ employee to be able to investigate and to actually get to the bottom of all this.
Yeah, something ain't right there. Ameer Benno, Katie Cherkasky, thank you both for being with us today. Appreciate your legal insight on these big stories that are developing.
Thank you.
Thank you.